that we should ever good money again before we take to think orders and ends of government.
Yo, welcome to another Simply Bitcoin Live, where we are your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution. We cover the Bitcoin news, the memes, the catastrophic fails by the central bankers, governments, all the above, and the culture, of course. Today, we have a very, very special guest. We have the legendary ICO offender, also known as Yellow. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me, man. It's an honor.
Happy to have you join us. This guy is the meme legend. He's like the Picasso of memeing, or the Da Vinci of memeing. He's fucking hilarious. If you haven't seen his stuff, you definitely should check it out. Anyways, and also my legendary co-host. How you doing, Opti?
What's up, guys? Legendary, just humble Opti, Nico. Just humble Opti. Guys, I do have a camera here. I don't have the right level of camera stand, so I might be looking down today, but I will figure this out. Hi, everyone. All right. What's up, Nico?
Guys, it's going to be a hell of a show. Today, we're going to cover what's going on with CSW and McCormack. Huge win, but we're going to get into the details. We're also going to cover, today is Happy Bitcoin Independence Day. We're going to cover that as well. We got a hell of a show lined up. Opti's got the memes. He's got the culture. And Yellow's got yellow. Anyways, let's move on to the numbers.
What's up, Nico? Are you good? Are you good?
Oh, God. It's too soon, Yellow. It's too soon.
What? I'm not doing anything. I gotta see the numbers, man.
All right, moving on.
Number time.
Brought to you by Nodl. They make some of the best Bitcoin nodes, like the Nodl One. Run your own version of Bitcoin Core, the Lightning Network, Whirlpool, and Dojo, all from the comfort of your own home. Remember, guys, if you don't run your own Bitcoin node, you're using someone else's. And now, if you're a digital nomad, you have no excuse, because you could run a Nodl node over a virtual private server anywhere around the world. Visit nodl.eu. All right, so Yellow always makes fun of the number time, so I'm going to force him to do the number time. It's going to be interesting because it's Yellow, and
That's good. God damn it. I told you I'm not prepared, man.
So Yellow, why don't you do the honors, my friend?
So should I do it like my way or like your way?
Do it your way. Do it your way.
Okay. So price today is at USD dollars, sats per dollar. Block height is at it's up. Wow, I didn't expect that. Reachable Bitcoin nodes, percentage issued over 90. I didn't know that either. It's exactly at blocks to having thousands, and having estimated around 24. Oh, Son was right, apparently. Amazing. Total capacity for Lightning Network is Bitcoins. Capacity value at million. Hash rate E8-S. And I'm mining revenue.
All right, no more.
Okay.
Becca, this version is much better. I agree with you, Becca. Anyways, I'm just gonna do three of them so you guys know when the episode was recorded. The price at the time of recording is 23,190 sats per dollar, 4,312. Block height 747,514. And this is a special edition of the numbers. It's the numbers by Yellow. If you guys like it, definitely let us know in the comment, and we'll bring Yellow back to do his version of the numbers, because I really do kind of like it. Anyways, today we're going to talk about one of my favorite economists, fiat economists, the legendary Paul Krugman. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because if it comes from him, it comes from the credentialed class that the internet has completely made a mockery of. The legacy media, the mainstream media, accepts his opinion, but everybody else Yeah, no, you're a conspiracy theorist. But anyways, let's check out some of Krugman's opinions. We're gonna go down memory lane. So this is New York Times opinion piece, November 19th, 2020. Making the most of the coming Biden boom. That didn't work out so well. This is Paul Krugman. Remember, he was one of the economists that said there was going to be no inflation. Here he is, July 21st, 2022. I was wrong about inflation. Now, here is one of his most infamous posts, I guess, or articles. And again, keep in mind that he is a winner of a Nobel Prize in economics. Fiat economics, I guess. The growth of the internet will slow drastically as the flaw in Metcalfe's law, which states that the number of potential connections in a network is proportional to the square of the number of participants, become apparent. Most people have nothing to say to each other. By 2005 or so, it will become clear that the internet's impact on the economy has been no greater than the fax machines, and for some reason, we still take this guy seriously. That being said, I'm going to play you a video of him going on CNN. Let's see what he has to say about the recession or potential recession, shall we?
An economist, a distinguished professor at the City University of New York's Graduate Center, and a longtime columnist for the New York Times. Welcome to the program. Thank you for coming on.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Can we dispense with the recession debate real quick? Are we in a recession, and does the term matter?
No, we aren't, and no, it doesn't. I mean,
One sentence. That was it, huh?
Yeah, that was it. It's none of the usual criteria that real experts use says that we're in a recession right now. And what does matter? The state of the economy is what it is. Jobs are abundant, although maybe the job market is weakening. Inflation is high, though maybe inflation is coming down. What does it matter whether you use the R word or not?
Certainly the White House was trying to encourage reporters to use the technical definition, but certainly many are using a broader definition. So this is going to go on for a while, and I feel like everybody's playing their roles the way you would expect them to play their roles. What should the media's... Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say that this is especially vitriolic. I mean, I get, I've been in this business for a couple of decades and get lots of hate mail and see stuff. I've never seen anything as bad as this. The determination of a lot of people to say it's a recession is above and beyond anything I've ever seen.
What do you think is driving that? Just partisanship and polarization getting worse and worse every year, and thus this?
Yeah, it's partisanship. People want it. It's the Biden recession. They want their Biden recession. They're going to have it. Never mind the fact that that it in fact is not a recession in any technical sense.
Is it fair to say this is the weirdest economy we've ever lived through?
Okay, so that was really hard to sit through. So yeah, you heard what he said, right? In the 90s, he said that the internet was never going to amount to anything. He was absolutely wrong about inflation. He was wrong about his prediction about the economy. Again, we would just want to specify this is a Bitcoin show at the end of the day, so we don't take any political stance. I think both political parties do exactly the same, which is print money. But that being said, Paul Krugman was absolutely wrong about the upcoming Biden boom. So he was wrong, catastrophically wrong about all those things. What makes you think that he would be right about this whole recession stuff? Look, at the end of the day, they changed definitions. We pulled up the receipts. Opti pulled up the receipts. We went through the Wikipedia source things where they literally changed the definition in front of our eyes, right? Just because you did change the definition of something doesn't change it, right? So, and the actual definition is negative GDP growth, right, in 2 consecutive quarters, right, in the United States. And we've absolutely already hit that. But of course, they knew this was coming. They expected it. So they changed the definition at last second. Absolute clown world. Why are we taking these people seriously? Bitcoiners, anonymous Bitcoiners on the internet were more spot on than this so-called credentialed class that has all the experts, like they call themselves. That's not cool. That's not right. Anyways, Yellow, what are your thoughts, brother?
You gotta put that like kind of article next to the Vitalik tweet he did about us choosing clowns for like
I got that
leaders.
later, Yellow.
Yeah, because like it's the same mentality, man. Like we have seen in the clown world what the so-called experts have done. Like, we have enough of them. Like, I prefer the crazy ones. You know, they build stuff.
Yeah, absolutely right. Sir Galahold said, "Wait, what? They want their Biden recession? That doesn't even make sense." And you could tell, like, and there's something called projection, right? And they're like, "Oh, it's super partisan. It's super partisan." They're the side that's changing the actual definition of recession. What's going on here? But yeah, look, at the end of the day, look, in the US, something interesting happens, right? Which is when the Republicans are in power, the Democrats are like, all the economic problems and social problems that you're having are the Republicans. And then when the Democrats are in power, the Republicans do the same thing. They say, oh, it's the Democrats' fault. But the fundamental issue is that both parties are really reliant on the money printer for whatever they want, and then because they're printing money, that steals from people through inflation, through debasement of the currency, right? Anyways, Opti, what are your thoughts, brother?
Man, the PR spin and the gaslighting by the respected elites out there is absolutely insane. And how was him saying in his own words? I wrote it down. He said, the real economist said so. You can very much tell where their bias is from and what they're doing, because they are telling you the authority is not telling you that there is a recession. Therefore, there is no recession. And we know that, guy, like, anyone that's awake out there and paying any attention can tell that, hey, things aren't as good as they're telling us out here. The PR spin, that, you know, it's back to the 1984 quote that everyone's been saying on Twitter. The party tells you to forget what you see and, you know, not listen to what you hear in real time. So they are gaslighting you. They know that we know there is a recession, and, you know, they can try to spin this however they want, but the stats are telling you otherwise, Paul Krugman. And like I said last week, the very same people that told you we don't have inflation are telling you now that we are not in a recession. So who are you going to believe? Some plebs on the internet that are just toxic and spitting truth and shitposting and memeing, or these people that are blatantly lying to you consistently because they have to spin this any way possible so that you don't get angry and take them away from their jobs? Guys, this is simple bread and circus. This is simple PR spin. And as I always say, this is simple propaganda, guys. You understand this because you guys are on the front lines of propaganda for Bitcoin, and don't think propaganda is bad. We are all propagating memes. This is just the way things work.
Yeah.
Yellow, Greg has something to say about your eyes. What type of vegetables, Greg?
Potato.
Anyways, let's move on to the memes and no, the news. Not the memes. We're not at the memes yet. Time for
the daily news.
Brought to you by CryptoCloaks.com. They make some of the best 3D printed Bitcoin merch, like the famous 3D printed Bitcoin grenade toy. Comes in any custom color your heart desires. This just happens to be in simply Bitcoin colors or Bitcoin colors. Or what if you, like Peter Schiff, like gold? That's right. He makes it in gold. Any custom color. Definitely go check out CryptoCloaks. You can take advantage of the promo code down below to get 5% off. If you're in Europe, the European store is now open. Check out CryptoCloaks.com. All right, so today's a very special day. Today is August 1st. Exactly 5 years ago, August 1st, 2017, there was a user-activated soft fork. And the Bitcoin network, Bitcoin in general, proved belonged to the people and not a conglomerate of the most powerful mining companies and mining manufacturers, right? Jihan and Bitmain, right? That owns the vast majority of Bitcoin ASIC manufacturing at the time, right? And they tried to fork Bitcoin to make bigger blocks. And by doing so, they were raising the resource bar that it would be required to run for a user to run their own node, right? The reason the block size is the way it is so that the resource bar, meaning the amount of money that you have to spend to run your own node is low on purpose, so that decentralization is the main priority of Bitcoin. And if you compare that with Ethereum, for example, Ethereum, yes, it could, it has the smart contracts, has all these things, but it sacrifices decentralization because the resource requirements in order to have all that functionality is very high. So the vast majority of Ethereum nodes are run on servers, specifically AWS servers, Amazon Web Servers. So if you want to know who owns the vast majority of Ethereum nodes, say hi to Jeff Bezos. And if you want to know what happens when Amazon gets upset with something, take a look at what they did to a company called Parler. It was a very popular social media app, right, that got shut down due to, the protest around January 6th and all of that stuff. So, yeah, anyways, I just thought I would say that before we get into the meat of the news. So today, something very, very interesting happened, some very good news. Let's pull it up. So Peter McCormack, Pedro, pulled this up today. He said, as some of you will now have seen, the judgment in my trial versus Dr. Craig Wright has now been handed down. I want to thank my lawyers for their diligent work on the case. I also want to thank Mr. Justice Chamberlain for this result. We are very pleased with his findings. Please do note that the process is not complete, and therefore I will not be commenting further on this. Once the entire process is complete, there will be others I will be thanking. All right, moving on. So here is the actual official news by the Judicial Office. The judgment and press summary and Wright versus McCormack is now available online. And Hodlnaut, who is actually also in a lawsuit versus Craig Wright, has been posting some very juicy screenshots that I think summarize how the judge felt about this. To my understanding, right, at the end of the day, Peter McCormack did lose the case, but the signal is the judgment. The signal is what was the reward for Peter McCormack losing the case. I'll get to that in a second. Let me read some of these statements, right? A conclusion, so this is by Hodlnaut, right? And it's the end, it says 111. I therefore conclude that Dr. Wright's original case on serious harm and the evidence supporting it, both of which were maintained until days before the trial, were deliberately false, right? Moving on. Here's another tweet by Hodlnaut. Had it not been for Dr. Wright's deliberately false case as to serious harm, and a more than minimal award of damages would have been appropriate, though the quantum would have been reduced to reflect the fact that Mr. McCormack was goaded into making the statements he did, and having found Dr. Wright not to be a witness of truth, I would have rejected in its entirety his case as to distress he claims to have suffered. So I want to read that last part, right? Mr. McCormack was goaded into making the statements he did, and having found that Dr. Wright not to be a witness of truth, right? So really interesting here because, again, right, is a Florida judge in that infamous case, that infamous lawsuit that we actually covered on this show, where the judge said the exact same thing. He said that CSW lied, right? And here you have a court case in the UK, and the judge is saying in very beautiful English, right, that Dr. Craig Wright made false accusations, right? Anyways, let's read to the conclusions of the case, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. We'll have a panel. It says, for these reasons, I conclude that Publication 16 meant that there were responsible grounds for questioning or inquiring as to whether the claimant had fraudulently claimed to be Satoshi. This was defamatory at common law. Mr. McCormack is responsible for the republication of Publication 16, the posting of the recording on YouTube. Each publication, 1 through 10 and 12 through 16, caused serious harm to the reputation of Dr. Wright. However, because he advanced a deliberately false case and put forward deliberately false evidence until days before the trial, he will recover only nominal damages. What are those nominal damages? Accordingly, I shall enter judgment for Dr. Wright on the claim in the sum of £1 British. That's right. That's right. £1 British. So a couple things here, though, right, is that's absolutely dog shit that even after the judge that realized that Craig Wright was lying through his teeth, it still caused libel alarm to Craig Wright. And I think British law, and I'm not a lawyer to emphasize that.
Yeah, exactly. It has to do with British law and how the libel thing is playing out there.
Yeah,
Like,
they have
it's one
really
of the
strong
worst court cases. Yeah, over there.
Yeah, they
That's
have
why
really.
That's why he filed there. That's why he filed there.
Correct. He has really strong. The UK has really strong libel laws, right? But I think it's bullshit, and this is what the judge described in that statement, right? Is that he lied, but due to the common law, we have to enforce that. And Stacey Herbert actually has this amazing tweet that kind of gets more into the details of it. Let me pull it up. Here we go. It says. It was the 2010 law under Obama preventing any courts in the U.S. from enforcing UK libel judgments, which embarrassed the UK into updating their own laws. Charlatans like fake Satoshi can no longer profit from their abuse of the justice system. Imagine having to waste several years of your life enduring this abuse of the system by a guy who literally... Okay, I'm not going to read that. But anyways, the point is, right, is that, yeah, the UK apparently has, dog shit libel laws. I think we appreciate freedom of speech a little bit more in the U.S. But yeah, I'm honestly extremely, I'm disappointed that the judge still ruled that it was it was McCormack that lost. But I think that the signal there, right, was really what the actual judgment was, and the judgment was only £1 and that signified, right, that hey, listen. Perhaps you won by, the technicalities of it, but we know you're a liar and you've lied to us. And connect the dots with what the judge said in Florida. He said the same thing, that CSW was making false statements. If you are who you say you are, why do you have to resort to lies? Just saying. That's my opinion. Yellow, what are your thoughts? And then we'll move on to Opti.
Well, he's gonna try to spin it now as a win. His puppets gonna also create more noise around the fact that they won, in quotation, the court case, right? So he's gonna spin also more, I think, legal stuff around patents in the future. We're gonna see stuff like that, and of course, I don't think that will go anywhere because he has no base for any of that. So yeah, we're gonna be seeing the guy because I feel like, dude, he's mental. He doesn't stop. He won't accept defeat. He won't accept defeat, and unfortunately, guys like that exist in our world.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. He won't accept defeat. And this guy isn't going away, but I'll tell you this, Yellow, that's going to start compounding. And when the Space Cat, the Hodonaut case, Opti, check your text messages. That's why your camera. Yeah, it happens to mine all the time. Anyways, back to the point. So the Space Cat court, the Hodonaut case is, if you've been paying attention to the Space Cat's Twitter, right, it looks like that's going to court soon. Now, the benefit of this, guys, though, right, is that judges in multiple countries are all coming to the same conclusion, that this guy is making false testimony. What is going on there? If this person was telling the truth, if he really is the person that he says he is, why does he have to resort to lies? It could have been a home run case, but again, very, very suspicious. I'm not trying to make any assumptions, but it's interesting to say the least. Anyways, moving on to some scary news. Check this out.
Oh, no.
Go ahead, Yellow.
Oh no.
All right, so check this out. Israel bans use of cash for purchases larger than NIS 6,000. A new law is set to take effect in Israel starting August 1st that will ban payments of large sums of money in cash and bank checks. The goal of the reform, according to a statement issued by Israel's tax authority, is to fight organized crime, money laundering, and tax non-compliance. Under the new law, any payment to a business under 1,700 USD must be made using alternative methods such as digital transfer or debit card. Trading between private citizens who are not listed as business owners will be limited to $4,360 in cash. This is another step in Israel's fight against the use of cash. Previously, cash up to the amount of $3,200 could be used in business deals. So they just keep putting that that bar lower and lower, right? At the end of the day, if you have a cashless society, that is a wet dream for governments. That was until Bitcoin, and that's why they hate Bitcoin the way they do. Anyways, let's check this out. In the U.S., right, they passed a very similar law, right? In fact, right, it was this year, if you guys don't remember, that the Treasury Department wanted to pass a law that every $600 was reported, right? Now, in the U.S., right, it's a $10,000 rule. Now, what's really interesting about this law, right, is that Congress passed the Bank Secrecy Act in 1970, right? And in the United States, right, is that every cash payment over $10,000 received in a trade or business has to be reported to the federal government. It's not only $10,000, it's also $10,000 in wire as well, right? So check this out. When the law was passed in 1970, that purchasing power of the $10,000 when they passed that law was $76,368. And why was it so high? Because there's a slow creep, right? That's how they get you, right? Initially, when they passed the law, it's like, oh, it's 70 grand. It's not a big deal. But here's the thing, the numerical amount stays the same, but inflation does its thing. So, as you saw in Israel too, initially it was 3,200, and now they're moving down that to 1,700. And remember, that amount doesn't get adjusted to inflation. So again, like, this is a fucking scam. Like, I don't know how else to say it. This is a scam. Why are we being forced to go through this compliance, go through this bullshit? And one last thing, right, is that Bitcoin, by design, is not compatible with this. So what does that mean? That means that you saw this with the U.S. sanctions episode that we did over the weekend. Does this mean break the law? No, it doesn't mean that. What I mean, though, is that it was going to be very difficult for governments to gatekeep the way that they've been gatekeeping with the legacy system. And that inevitably is going to cause a clash. You're already starting to see that in Europe, where they're passing these laws where it's like, listen, anything above a certain amount has to be reported, and wallets and who their identities are have to be reported as well. Why are they doing that? Because they're trying to push their system of control on top of Bitcoin. Now, what are the results of their system of control? Their system of control has literally labeled 60%, 50 to 60% of the world. It deems them unbankable. It's an unjust system, right? So anyways, because they would like you to believe otherwise. If their systems of control were not in place, the world would burn down, right? I would like to say the other side. Anyways, but again, these are just my opinions. You got to color within the lines, of course. Opti, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think when I put this on Twitter, I said something on the lines of, government trying to stop capital from leaving. It's like capital control. So they know exactly what they're doing. People are escaping the system. They see what is happening. They see the inflation. They see people acting to protect themselves. And so what do they have to do? They have to stop the exit door. We say this all the time, that Bitcoin is the exit door, but furthermore, cash is private and they want to know everything about you. Hence why a lot of these governments are pushing CBDCs, because they want total control of your life and your finances. So what are we going to do? We're going to opt out and route around the system with Bitcoin, because they can't stop it, guys. Like, this is what people in power that are losing power want to do. They want to stop capital flight, and so they will figure out any way they can to stop capital flight. And I think this is just further proof that the tyrants are just going to continue to be tyrants. So there's a new system, a better system, and you can opt out from it, and you don't have to be a part of this. But as Nico's telling you, we know very much why they are doing what they are doing is because they are afraid, and they can see the exit door, and so can we. And so, hey, will this be the first or maybe the last? I don't think so. I think it will only get worse. And as we are saying, the capital controls and the limits will probably get lower as inflation wrecks our currencies. So I am just happy to be a Bitcoiner, and I'm happy that we have something like Bitcoin, because imagine if we didn't have Bitcoin at this moment. It would be a very, very dark place. So Shouts out to Bitcoin and shouts out to all you guys stacking.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to read this passage before I pass it on to Yellow, because I feel like it's very appropriate to describe the times that we're going through. This is from The Sovereign Individual. It's a must-read book for any Bitcoiner. The passage says, new technologies will allow the holders of wealth to bypass the national monopolies that have issued and regulated money in the modern period. Their importance for controlling the world's wealth will be transcended by mathematical algorithms that have no physical existence. In the new millennium, cyber money controlled by private markets will supersede fiat money issued by governments. Only the poor will be victims of inflation and ensuring collapses into deflation that are consequences of the artificial leverage which fiat money injects into the economy. Right? And I think that was beautifully said, right? And you're seeing the reaction by these ancient models, right? These ancient nation state models, and you're seeing the reaction to try to control something like Bitcoin, right? They don't like it at the end of the day. Anyways, Yellow, what are your thoughts before we move on to the Daily Fail?
It's a continuation of the cash wars that happened like a few years back also in India with the riots and everything that they made like in one night. They make it legal, like the big amounts of fiat money. So everybody rioted there. It's like it's a spin on the same story. And I'm gonna say something similar that fits perfectly with what just like passed in Israel. Like here in Greece, they passed like they basically copy pasted the COVID app that we had, right? And they made something that you can like store your password, your ID, national ID, some data about your healthcare and stuff like that, all in one app. So one and plus two, like basically makes the perfect like instrument for control for those guys. So yeah, the wallets for the CBDCs are the next, and I think the story will conclude.
Yep, exactly. That's the inevitable conclusion. Opti, your camera's overheating, happens to mine all the time. I'll tell you how to fix it after the show. Just go to your FaceTime camera. It's all good. But I wanted to read.
Try restarting it.
No. I'll tell them how to fix it, because it used to happen to me all the time. All right. I just want to read this comment by Andrew Williams. It says, if inflation is lowering the cash transaction limit, then any government lowering the limit is evidence that it is not working fast enough. In short, they are panicking. Wow. That is an incredible comment. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. Let's move on to the fail. Opti, it's time for
The Daily Fail.
Brought to you by Swan. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plan, instant purchases, and it's serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. What we advocate for on Simply Bitcoin is dollar cost averaging, and our values align with Swan, right? They incentivize self-custody. They want you to take self-custody. They don't want you to leave it on the app. And they incentivize DCA, right? Which is, in our opinion, the best way to stack Bitcoin without, speculation, whatever. Spread out the risk over a number of days. Swan.com.
All right, guys. Well, I am here today, and we are going to cover the continuous fail that is the Ethereum blockchain and all the people that champion Ethereum. So, as you can see on the show, guys, and for you listening, we have this tweet by Vitalik, and he goes, why do maximalists keep picking heroes that turn out to be total clowns? And as you can see here, he's got a quote tweet about Michael Saylor on Ethereum. So, bear with me, guys. I am going to play this clip for you because you need to hear the first minute, because then you'll understand why Vitalik is saying what he's saying. So let's check this out.
Want to know? Look, the issue with ETH is if you want a decentralized network, you have to actually install a protocol, and it has to run unmolested, unmodified for 5 to 10 years before you can conclude that it is decentralized and censorship resistant. And ETH hasn't even got there yet. The clock on ETH won't start until after The problem with ETH is after the merge, they've still left all sorts of questions. What's the issuance schedule going to be for the next 1,000 years? What are the staking rules? What are there's so much, there's such an ambitious technology agenda that the protocol never stops mutating. And the problem with an ever mutating DNA structure is you generally end up with a monstrosity, right? You can't keep mutating the protocol
All right, guys, but you will need to watch the whole video. I don't want to play the whole 10 minutes, but I like what Neil Jacobs put here. And if you want to know, Vitalik Buterin, the CEO of Ethereum, is having a psychotic breakdown and calling Michael Saylor a clown, watch this masterclass. So we gave you the beginning of it. Now,
I also want to give credit to that podcast for hosting Saylor
exactly. That was good stuff. And then, of course, I am going to continue to go down the Ethereum is trash rabbit hole. And shouts out to Richard Whitman. He's been killing it lately. And he made this whole long thread of videos by ETH, as Neil put it, co-founders. And let's just listen into what they say and what they're doing and how they are marketing ETH. And we can see why they are saying so many re's.
It was sold very explicitly to software developers, to people who intended to use the system. It was not sold for speculative purposes. We're very confident that it started decentralized and people bought it for those reasons, and that it has grown radically decentralized and never was a security and certainly isn't now.
For these businesses to operate their systems. We will issue a bunch of Ether in pre-sale to people who buy it for use in their businesses or to people who buy it for speculative reasons.
Mike's asking, will there be a limit on the amount that a person could invest in Ethereum?
This one's crazy.
The audio and spaces.
A person can buy from any number of different identities. We may limit the size, the unit size of a sale, just to make it easier to disguise. Let's say if you're a whale and you want some privacy, you can buy 50,000 units, and so nobody scares people with an enormous initial purchase.
All right, I'm not going to play the whole thing, guys, because it just gets even more atrocious. But let me just go down a little more. Well, we got some screen shares here, some tweets. I really like this tweet from Corey. Corey Clipston of Swan. I think it lays out everything perfectly. And he goes, lots of crypto asset managers are actually just brokers of shitcoin team tokens. 1, crypto founders / VCs deposit free / cheap coins with fund. 2, fund markets it super fast and large assets under management growth. 3, fund dumps on dumb insto and retail. 4, shitcoiners redeem clean coins for money. And then, of course, I'm the master of memes over here, so I have to add this meme by Grubbles. Hat tip to level 39 on Twitter, and he goes, it's a picture of Vitalik doing a presentation, and of course this is a meme, guys. He goes, Ethereum is not decentralized. I have full control over the protocol. Upgrades forced with the difficulty bomb. I am pulling all the levers. Ethereum's roadmap is not up for debate. I am its leader. You will obey my hard forks. And I told you we are just going to continue down the ETH fail. Well, I saw this tweet. Ryan S. Adams, a big ETH guy. Guys, just look at this tweet. Hands up if you were Zuzu, Doquan, or Alex Mashinsky this cycle. These are the people that are leading Ethereum, and they are still getting wrecked, and they are still getting wrecked by their own words, guys. Like, their recordings of what they did to push ETH, a pre-mine. They had, insider selling. They had what we had last week. We had Vitalik admitting that he had the ETH Foundation dump at the very top. Like, I don't know how much more we have to keep putting the receipts that ETH is a shitcoin, the ultimate shitcoin, or as Safe said, the mother asshole that all shitcoins come from. But this is why we tell you to stay humble, stack sats, because this is the quintessential shitcoin, guys. They pre-mined it, they pushed it with a company, and now they are trying to backwash or whitewash the past so that they don't get wrecked, because as you guys know, the SEC and likes and the regulators all around the world, they are coming for securities now. And hey, if you are in ETH, if you are a part of the shitcoin community, then it is not looking good for you if you are honest with yourself and you're, you know, objective in what is going on. Bitcoin is the only truly decentralized coin in the space. Just stay humble, stack sats. It's really that easy, guys, and you won't get wrecked. Like, people on ETH and people that are holding ETH are about to get wrecked, and it's not going to be pretty for anyone. But anyways, Nico, Yellow, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, dude. I mean, look, we all know it's a scam. Unfortunately, you know, there's been times where ETH has performed better than Bitcoin, especially in the short term. In the long term, ETH has not outperformed Bitcoin, but in the short term, it has, right? And again, if you look, for example, at the BTC to ETH price, right, you could see that Ethereum still hasn't reached the previous all-time high. But yeah, it entices people because of those short-term gains. And again, I think they lose the plot, and they don't really appreciate the importance of decentralization. If we do want to separate money from state, it has to be decentralized. If it's not decentralized, it will inevitably be captured by governments. It's just a matter of time. Like I said in the beginning of the show, the majority of Ethereum nodes are run on servers. If they're run on servers, they're very easily prone to government capture. It's an inevitability. Look at what the Office of Foreign Asset Control already tried to do to Marathon, right? Remember the Marapool, the OFAC compliant blocks, right? They're trying to sneak that government censorship anywhere they can. ETH is prone to that because of how it's structured. Bitcoin is not, right? But again, a lot of people get lost because they're like, yo, number go up, I'm gonna get rich, I want my Lambo, and they forget what this was truly about, and this is really a revolution. We are separating money from state. Anyways, Yellow, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to say fuck the government, first of all. I don't care what the government is or saying or not. Why ETH is unethical is not about it being illegal, the rollout being illegal. I don't care about that. You can code whatever you want, right? It's unethical because it had a 70% rollout pre-mine, and they didn't say anything about it. It's unethical because when they found a bug, right, they rolled back all the chain, and Ethereum Classic is right. The true ETH in my if you see the code, right? It's unethical because like in every cycle they found like a mainstream hyped kind of term to like ICO, DeFi, NFT to sell those tokens to noobs that get wrecked in the end, right? So that's why it's unethical. It's not unethical because it's illegal. The rollout was illegal. I don't care about that. Code whatever you want, but in the end, like if you think about it like that, us the maxis, the so-called bodies, are trying to like shout. We're shouting to you, and you saying, "Dude, like when the bad guy, and the bad guy is the guy with the guns, right? Come to you, dude. You're not prepared. You sell the story, and you even believe it yourself now that you're decentralized when you're not. And when they come and knock to your door." You won't be able to do anything about it, and then like of course I'm gonna be laughing a little bit. Sorry, I'm gonna be laughing a little bit.
Oh man, yeah, no, you should just laugh. It's anyways. How many times do we tell them? They don't listen, right? Anyways, Opti, what is the next film, my friend?
I didn't get another one today. I thought we were just gonna wreck ETH all day.
We're gonna wreck ETH all day, and we have a very long meme section.
Yes,
you guys are gonna be surprised. We got some good stuff in store for you. Anyways, that being said, let's move on to the memes. It's time for
the daily meme review.
Brought to you by Citadel 21. It's the best Bitcoin cultural zine. It's stories, articles, comics by actual Bitcoiners. This is the artwork for Volume 10. This is the artwork for Volume 11. And this is the artwork for Volume 2. Volume 2 is almost sold out because there's only 1,000 physical copies made per volume. Guys, get your physical prints of Citadel 21 today before they run out. You're up, Opti.
Are you sure? I thought we were going to do this special presentation first.
I was going to give that as a score, but you know what? F it. Yellow and I have been building something. Let me know what you guys think. There's going to be more of these, by the way. It's just the first one. Don't make fun of us too much. For our audio listeners, you got to tune into the video. You might not understand the audio, but promise you it's worth it. Anyways, check it out.
Hello there, you malaka. So, did you stack today? Grenade!
What the fuck are you doing in my house, Yellow?
First of all, it was open. Second of all, have you stacked today?
Is this gonna make you leave my house?
No.
Awesome.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Well, do you guys want to say some words about it, or just jump right into the meme review?
I'm embarrassed. I'm turning red. Let's jump to the meme review, shall we? But it was fun. Guys. It was fun. We're definitely going to make more of them. Bear with us. Opti, you got yeah.
All right, guys. Here we go. First meme is by our buddy RD Bitcoin, RD_BTC on Twitter. And he goes, "Truth hurts, fuckers. Hashtag Bitcoin. Hashtag Cypherpunk AF." And we got a shitcoiner passing, or a Bitcoiner passing a note to a shitcoiner, and he's got laser eyes, and the note says, "There's nothing cypherpunk about shitcoins." Awesome meme, RD. Uh-oh, and it's reloading. All right, shouts out to Dr. Bitcoin Boss. I saw this one over the weekend, and I know all you guys are single out there, and you have no girlfriend, so you will feel this one because you guys are still in the club, and it goes, "Attention, do not be a crypto simp." I don't know if YouTube likes simp, but anyways, only buy Bitcoin because when the lights come on and the truth comes out, a lot of you are going to be wrecked. And I don't wish that on anyone. Buy Bitcoin. It fixes everything. And of course, you guys are in the club, so you're going to get this meme. And it goes, "When 1:30 a.m. hits and they turn on the lights in the nightclub." Think of this as a Vitalik and Joe Lubin's ETH marketing, and then what it actually is happening on the network. Anyways, continuing on, we got our buddy Big Sean Harris. "What is a recession? Hey, Mr." And I know you guys are all old as well, and you remember the Tootsie Pop commercial. So, "Hey, Mr. Owl, how many consecutive contractions in GDP make a recession?" 1, 2, 3. The world may never know. And I felt this one because not only do I feel this way sometimes, but my roommate just went to a wedding, and I know this is how he felt. So, at Denver Bitcoin goes, "At a wedding, where does it hurt? Headache, stomach ache, whole body ache, because nobody is there to talk about Bitcoin with in person." And then another one. Sorry, apologies for the loading, guys. I guess I switched account. This one is by Chris Plo 21 mil, and he goes, "If you know, you know. When you read the Bitcoin standard and know what happens next before everyone else." Shout out Shaq. And of course, today is Bitcoin Independence Day, and I saw this morning by European BTC 21, European Bitcoiners, and it's a bunch of Bitcoin plebs, bunch of Bitcoiners, Bitcoin revolutionaries out there holding the line strong, and it says "Plebs together strong," guys. So shouts out to you guys. You guys that run the node are the ones that control the network. Make sure you run a node because this is what it's all about. The businesses that build on Bitcoin do not control Bitcoin. It is you, the user, the node runner, that controls Bitcoin, guys. You choose what is Bitcoin. You choose what rules you opt in to
before you rate the memes, guys, this is Simply Bitcoin Live. Rate the memes in the chat, and you're gonna make Opti and I feel uncomfortable. We're gonna read the scores, and yeah, I'm gonna make Yellow read a score too. Whole thing.
Oh, we got 100. All right.
Anyways, rate the meme right now in the chat. In the
my
live chat.
meme score is this Bitcoin coaster. Let's go.
All right. I'm gonna give it some tissues. 3 tissues. Yellow.
It's my turn, right? Okay, I have this this yellow notebook that has a black simple Bitcoin sticker on it, and I'm gonna give it that. Yeah.
What's in these mysterious scores? Anyways. Let's see. Let's read some scores. Yellow, you wanna be my guest?
Becca says my meme score is a half a cup of coffee. Pretty good.
Good score.
Good score.
We got Taco says I give those memes 1 million ETH. Oof. All right. We got Andrew Williams meme score empty teacup. We got Lucky Red Fish. I give it Nico's beer. We got BTC pins. I rate those memes 1 pound. Savage.
One USB voltometer. Very good.
Very good. That's a good score. Very, very thoughtful, Robert. Very thoughtful. All right, we got
Can of Red Bull. Yes.
Oh man. Red Rope says my meme score is a can of Red Bull. All right, last one by Sir Galahadl. Meme score 1 PSP, motherfucker. We're a Bitcoin show, bro. All right. And, oh, hey, Sophie. I raise Becca 3 cups of coffee. Okay. Overall, good scores. Anyways, guys, you know the deal. If you agree with their scores, you disagree, let us know down in the comment section. Join our awesome Telegram group. It's literally free. It takes 2 seconds. It's down in the link description. Anyways, Opti, there was an open source software release today. No, there wasn't. There was a website by Pleb. Let's check it out. All right, pleb sites. Before we get to the pleb sites, I want to give our awesome sponsor, CypherSafe, a very special shout out. Guys, you have to check out CypherSafe.io. Don't be that person that stores their seed on paper. Paper is prone to pet attacks. They'll eat your seed. That would be a terrible way to lose your Bitcoin. It protects you from yellow. Yellow could tear up that piece of paper because he's yellow. It protects you from fire. It protects you from water. You definitely want to store your seed on metal. With CypherSafe, you check out the Cypher Wheel or the Cypher Grid. Back up your seed on metal. It's not going anywhere. Anyways, Opti, there was a website by Plebe, brother. Why don't you show everybody?
What's up, guys? I'm here to do the website by Plebes. And, of course, I want to shout out our friends over at Pleb Underground. Pirate and Phil's new project. They are continuing to put out a bunch of pleb content, and it's awesome. All our friends are over there. Shouts out to Elsie, shouts out to Becca and Frito, all this good stuff, man. You know, the plebs need to be heard, and I know you guys out there think we're in civil war right now, but we are all on the same mission, and we are all pushing Bitcoin. And so all my pleb brothers and sisters out there that are creating content, we are behind you and we love your work. Continue to put in the work, continue to build, continue to put out fire content, because we are all on the sound money mission. We are spreading the sound money gospel. And hey, we had a split, but we are still doing the mission together, guys. I will still be reading all the works over there. I still listen to the podcast, guys. We are in this together because we are still on the same mission, guys. We are pushing Bitcoin, and that is what matters.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And of course, guys, go listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify. And if you are a part of the Value for Value economy, check us out on Fountain. Stream us some sats if you find that we are giving you guys value. If not, we will continue to put on the show every single day. We love you guys. Continue to do what you do out there because Bitcoin is the way and the world needs Bitcoin. And as we've been showing you today, the world needs Bitcoin more than ever. So continue to create the content, continue to push the content because the signal don't stop.
The signal don't stop. Anyways, guys, that was our show. Before we go, if you like the threads that Opti and I wear every single day, you definitely have to check out representltd.com. They make the stylish, comfiest. The design is dope. They're making Simply Bitcoin merch. He makes Bitcoin merch. You definitely want to go check it out. You can take advantage of the promo code down below in the link of the video, the description of the video, to get 10% off. representltd.com. Guys, that was our show. It's a live show. That means we're going to make mistakes, but you definitely get a more authentic experience. Like Opti and I have been saying these last couple of weeks, really. This is the future of Simply Bitcoin. This is where we're going to transition it to. We want to change it up. We want to bring you guys the best signal. We're also adding different types of content. You guys got a sneak peek into... For some reason, my girlfriend handed me a cigar. I guess it's because you're on her show. Anyways, so we're transitioning to a live show. We have new formats. The interview series, the last episode we did was with Greg Foss, Jeff Ross, and James Lavish. We got another one special coming up in a couple of weeks. You guys are definitely going to enjoy the guests. We have skits coming up, and we have a very special surprise for you guys as well. Bear with us. We want to bring you guys the best content and step up and earn a lot of you guys' respect and love again. Anyways, guys, that was the show. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smack that like button. Of course, you want to continue hearing the Bitcoin news. Definitely consider subscribing to Simply Bitcoin, the fails, the culture, all of it. This is your number one source for the Bitcoin revolution. Guys, we love you. We will see you tomorrow for the next one.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.